Welcome back to the Michigan Business Beat, brought you on the Michigan Business Network. Chris Holman here. We are on the mountain, our island as it is. We're at Mackinac Island, and we are here at the Grand Hotel for the Policy Conference put on by the Detroit Regional Chamber of Commerce. And, you know, every now and then somebody says, show me the money. Well, here's the guy who knows where the money is, right? All right. Very good to have you here. Ara Topouzian. That's good enough.
It's good.
You got it
It
right.
works.
I knew
As
you
long
would
as
get.
I know,
I knew you would get it
you're
right.
fine.
I've probably said it a million times.
Right, all
Okay.
right.
So Michigan Venture Capital Fund, which is not how we've always known you, right?
No, you've known me in other roles. I sound like a movie star. You've seen me in films such as. But I think we first started working together when I was in Troy running the Chamber of Commerce. So this is a new role for me as executive director of Michigan Venture Capital Association, and been doing it now for a couple of months.
And you know, it's a fun place to be because the action is all around you, and I guess it's kind of like seeing the cars pull up and you're sitting on all the gas, right?
Yeah.
So,
Well, what was really interesting for me to take on this role is the good that comes out of it. I think there's a couple of things. One, I don't think everybody understands what venture capital means.
Yeah.
I didn't necessarily before I started. So let's clear that first part up. You know, this is where these firms are going in and they're committing dollars to a startup that can't get traditional funds, right? And they're more than just putting money into it. There's expertise and all of that goes into it. So, that's one. But the good that comes out of this is these startups that do make it, that do exit, and they stay here in the state. You're creating jobs, you're creating new products, services. I mean, it's what the state needs.
well, and sometimes, and this is where, by the way, Michigan really suffered for many years. They didn't have this risk capital available, right? But you can't go to a bank and say, hey, I've got a good idea. Here's my 3-year plan. In year 4, we make our first dollar. Can you loan me $500,000?
Right.
They can't get it that way.
When was the last time you could ever do that? I mean, it almost seems like that was in the movies, So these venture capital firms, the angel investors, they all play a very important role in the ecosystem.
Yeah, so let's talk about that a little bit. Who your members are? Your members are people sitting on money, and they want to increase that money by taking risk.
Yeah. So they're venture capital firms, in and around the state. A lot of them are in Ann Arbor, Grand Rapids, and Detroit area. They are angel investor groups. Those are our members as well. We also partner, though. So universities, a lot of the tech transfer offices that are really grabbing these intellectual properties from their teams, their professors, and so forth. Economic development agencies, they play an important role. MEDC plays a great role with what we do. And then there's service providers that we have as members. So these are those folks that help support the ecosystem, whether they're CPAs, lawyers, you name it. So we get sort of the full gamut.
Well, and I look at like Chris Ridzik and Renaissance.
Yeah, no, terrific. I mean, a great partner, a great member. He was actually the first person that I met when I got to the job, so that was great. So yeah.
He's a good guy. They call themselves funders of funds. So they give money to venture capital funds to go give money to, and they take a piece of that, which is good.
Yeah.
Now, it used to be people would say venture capital funds, okay, so we make 10 investments, 2 of them pay off, the other 8 go south, but they pay for the investment. Is there still a formula that way? It seems to me that we're kicking out more successes.
We definitely have more successes in the state. I mean, yeah, not everything goes to plan, but that's the risk that they run. But within what they're investing in life science, healthcare. It's high tech, high growth companies. So it's not, they're not just looking for anything and everything. There is focus, and different venture capital firms are looking for different investments. So, we've got IT software development. The mobility space is a growing number as well too. So, yeah.
Well, there's a lot of opportunity here, and I remember talking early on to Berengia when they came from Silicon Valley, and they said Michigan's land of opportunity. And I was surprised by that. They came from Silicon Valley.
Yeah. Well, I don't think we're a flyover state anymore. I mean, there's a lot of great work that's going on here in Michigan, and it's getting noticed. And you've got, for every, so here's the issue though, a little bit. For every dollar that's spent in here in Michigan with a venture capital firm, we're getting close to $8 from out of state. So it's good and bad. It says that people are looking at Michigan, they're investing, but it's just not enough money here to do it. And that's kind of what we're hoping to.
We don't want them to eventually take that big profit and payday out of the state either.
No, totally. I mean, the goal would be for them to stay here and grow, and it's a good cycle for it to work well.
So it might be said we need more Michigan venture capital funds. So if you're out there and you know where pots of money are or people with it, get out there and get one started.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we don't have a ton of venture capital firms in the state. It'd be great to have some more, but they're constantly fundraising. They don't just have this bucket of cash that I think people assume that they have. So I think a lot of the venture capital, you talked about Renaissance Fund and that they do fund of funds, and then there was a statewide fund of funds program a number of years ago that number of the venture capital firms took advantage of and utilize, and that was a nice growth spurt. So, as we're here at the conference too, we're talking to folks and hoping that some type of incentive can happen again.
Well, Ara Topouzian, thanks so much for being with us. We always love spending time with you, buddy.
I love spending time. It seems like we did it twice.
or more. That's exactly right. Head of the Michigan Venture Capital Association. We are at the policy conference on the island of Mackinac. Perhaps you've heard of it, at the Grand Hotel. We'll be right back. You're listening and watching the Michigan Business Beat on the Michigan Business Network. I'm Chris Holman.